respect, you are following tradition in the moment. Having a sense of shame. Boy, this is big on certain cultures because shame makes you realize how, if you bring shame now, how it'll affect the group in the future. So that sense of shame in individualistic, predominantly cultures, those that are short-term as well, the sense of shame isn't there because it's about themselves and not about how they look to everybody else. Reciprocity of greetings, favors, and gifts in short term. Okay, when you fight over the bill, right? Smile. You fight over the bill. And even Mariah, you had his parents went and paid the bill. With the expectation that in the future, he would allow your parents to pay for it. No, not at all, right? Because it wasn't about reciprocation of any of the gifts or anything like that, right? That's not why they do it. They do it now because otherwise they would look, someone might think of me as not having the money, so I would be looked upon as shameful that I can't afford to do it, therefore my pride says I need to.
You're speaking facts.
I am. Ain't my first rodeo. Okay. Here's another thing with short term. No, they're a little bit more long term. Okay. Collectivistic cultures tend to speak more in long term mindsets when individualistic cultures are much more short term. How can I get pleasure now? Not how can I forego this pleasure so that things in the future are better for me. Confucianism really goes to long-term orientation. Everything is about understanding how we are related to one another and how that relationship in synergy actually benefits us, but in our future and looking to the future and not just at the present. Another thing of Buddhism, Confucianism, Buddhism, Taoism, all have long-term orientation. Even Buddhism is about reaching nirvana, not through immediate gains, but long-term understanding of yourself and your place in the world. And individualistic cultures are definitely more short-term. So if I look at the cultures that this is long-term orientation, it probably doesn't surprise you that short-term is US is way over here. Yeah. India, Spain, Mexico, Germany. I really am surprised Germany is so high on long-term. I do believe though that, as we said, history is one of those things that influences the culture. The history of Germany means that they now cannot be just looking at short-term. We need to look more long-term. And how what our actions are now will influence. When I also said the reciprocity of greetings comes down to, if I look at this, how do you greet one another? How do you say goodbye? Mexico, can you imagine walking into a party and not saying hello to everybody?
No.
How about leaving without saying goodbye to everybody?
No.
What would happen?
They'd assume that I got kidnapped.
Okay. Okay. So they would go to the worst.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about clock time. It's about use of time and how we understand how the future might be or how we want to embrace where we are right now. All right. On your paper, time orientation, short term and long term. Again. Cultural value, how you see yourself there. In the workplace, what would you think that you are more comfortable with? Your family, what you were brought up with, and how you see yourself. Fire. years is better.
Would you happen to have another extra sheet by any chance?
I might. No, last one. Only brought enough for everybody to have fun.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries.
I don't know that. We're almost done with this, but you're looking on Evan because of knowing where you are. All right. The last one is self-regulation. You need a pen?
Yes, please.
Self-regulation. Is it all about gratification or restraint? Indulgence versus restraint. So IMD is for indulgence.
Everything meant to be broken. Are we turning these in?
No, we're just using them for a discussion on the back.
Okay. Indulgence versus restraint.
All right, so what we're looking at, control over their impulses and desires. How much are they more willing to pull in? So you're a lefty?
I am.
How'd that happen?
I came out the wrong side.
We got a lot of lefties in this room. All right.
Now my mom was looking then for
Control over impulses and desires. So indulgence is all about free gratification based on human desires, enjoying life, having fun. Or this?
That's every day though.
I bet your household is full of laughter. That's awesome.
Never a dull day.
He's telling stories out of school right now.
Yep. Never a dull day in the house for sure.
So if a society is much more about gratification and getting what you want and having fun all the time versus restraint. Social norms mean you can have fun but only so much. Yeah. Y'all are gonna be surprised with the indulgence level here. So with just those, can you kind of see yourself maybe in either one of those? I'm gonna get into a little bit more and explain.
Allow
Already marking. I
free
already got it.
application.
I know.
Basic, nurturing,
I know what
desire related to
I am what I am.
life and animal. Suppress gratification amidst regulates by means of strict norms.
So again, a culture as a whole values free gratification. We need to enjoy life, have fun, be together. Restraint is like, yeah, you can, but within social norms. And when we say regulated by social norms, which means they will regulate each other. It's not like and they're making laws in place. I mean, vape pens are illegal in Indonesia. You can't have gum, only for personal use. You can't bring in a whole bunch if you're gonna sell it. So they have laws in place because they're very strict and because people were, the gum thing is because people were throwing it places and making a mess. So they said, fine, we're gonna have gum. Yeah. So indulgence are higher percentage of happy people. Of course you're gonna be happier. You're able to be indulgent. Lower percentage of happy people. You also remember, this is rules and regulations are put into place saying you can be happy, but only to a certain extent. Society will look at it and say you can be happy to only a certain extent. Perception of personal life control and indulgent. I can control my own self, I know my limitations, I will make sure that I am taking care of it, versus the idea that I'm helpless And what happens to me is not my own business. Anybody else can be involved with it, and anyone else can control what I do to maintain a social balance, that no one is going to go too much one way or the other. So if it's a society that says that you are in control of yourself, you can make your own decisions, versus the society can make that decision. High importance of leisure, low importance of leisure. How many of you think leisure and time to yourself is important? How many of you take time for yourself? It gets so expensive nowadays.
I just need self-love naps.
You just need a spa day.
Mhm.
I need to go hug a tree every once in a while. That's
I just don't like my nails.
If I don't hug a tree. Actually, I noticed a mood change in myself after I went to that concert last week. Just being enveloped in music, surrounded by people that are like-minded.
Shmoney.
Because Foo Fighters are not gonna be
No,
around.
not in that way, but like in other ways.
Oh, yeah, I listen to music for a lot of people. I'm gonna see Green Day on Sunday.
Nice.
Green Day and Cage the Elephant and some other people. Yeah. High importance of having friends versus low importance of having friends.
Love.
To me, people are just friends in the making. People I don't know yet. My husband's like, stop talking to everybody. We're actually going to dinner with his friends from middle school. Those are like his only friends. He still has from middle school.
Wow.
And they have friend he kept them all this time.
That's
He's
cool.
like, "You're my fucking house, you can't leave."
Lucky.
Communication, yeah.
Even if they're
And
not
they
good
also
people.
tend to surround communication on activities. Yeah. My husband plays tennis, and then he'd come home and I go, so what's up with this, and this? He goes, I don't know. I go, you just spent 3 hours. Yeah, we were playing a game.
Oh, literally.
So I'm like, okay. So I talked to the wives. I get all the information from the wives.
Exactly.
I have a friend who's been friends with his friend group. It's like a big friend group of like 7 people since like middle school or like really early high school. And I'm like, how are you guys friends for so long? And it's because they overlook so much of each other's bullshit.
That's a lot of it too. Well, just like I'm, 31 years in the book club I'm with. I think there's 10 of us left now. We ebb and flow with members. We're more like a wine club now. But I still see them and talk to them, and I think there's only 2. Barbara and I are the only remaining original members. But yeah. And I overlook a lot. Less moral discipline and very much about morality and moral discipline. Loosely prescribed gender roles versus strictly prescribed gender roles. Freedom of speech, or smiling is a norm, smiling is suspect.
What?
Not you personally, it's not your name, it's actual.
She's like, "What
Let me ask, has anyone ever been told you look better if you smile more?
Unfortunately.
Okay, somebody's told you that? Told you that?
What was that again?
Somebody had told you that?
That I look better if I smile?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't smile very often. I have a natural stoic look on my face.
But he can say, wait. He can say he has a stoic look on his face, but if a woman had it, it would be resting bitch face.
Yeah. Arby's.
We wouldn't say that to him though, right? Would you say a woman has a stoic look?
I've said that to women.
I'm kind of pointing out, remember, we're looking at the differences. Look at the differences, I get it. Yeah. That's a red flag and I want the other
And I'm also
direction.
like, no, genuinely, I'll just be like, no, definitely not to you, just walk
You gotta make her
Just
smile.
like,
Huh?
You gotta make her smile.
No, that's the problem. Is they want to make you smile. Leave me alone.
If I wanted to smile, I would.
Literally.
I just feel
I'm
like,
looking for a
If you
best
can make me smile naturally, I'm all for it, but don't force it.
Exactly.
That's the thing,
You can do it
right?
first time, go away.
It's like, I'm all for it, yeah.
I feel like there's a type of like in a lot of instances, if I look like I have control, as like when a man walks up to you, like there's a lot of cases where they're like, oh yeah, like you should just do this, and like you just have no idea.
What about me, Vince? My name is literally Smile.
Well, you smile a lot, I
You
don't
are
suspect you.
suspect, yeah.
Freedom of speech is important versus freedom of speech is not a primary concern. So indulgent, who do you think is gonna be high on the indulgence? Does this surprise you?
Not in the slightest. I completely expected Mexico with all the let's all go drinking. I am.
Well, there are a lot of celebrations and family time.
But they're hardworking folks as well, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
But no. But that means because they understand the importance of leisure, because they are so hardworking. It's a balance.
Yeah, no, they got a happy work-life
It's
balance.
called working hard and partying hard, right? It's friends, having friends is very important. I don't know about moral discipline. That one kind of, that's a gray area. I think that morality is very individual, but you can understand that. But restraint, China, India, so you would have many of the Asians. I don't know why Japan was one of their factors when they did this one, but definitely more restrained in Japan. To the point where if the females smile in Japan, they cover their mouth, because traditionally the mindset is the human mouth looks similar to a horse's mouth, so that it would be seen as wrong to show their mouth. So that you might see, right? So go ahead and mark the last one for individual, for your idea of indulgence and restraint based on these factors. Alright. Now what I want you to do is look over the worksheet you have, and then there are questions on the back. I don't want to spend too much time, but reflect on those questions. Have a discussion with a couple people around you about what your mindset was from the beginning and how you are kind of like seeing yourself anew by examining these cultural dynamics. There are a lot of questions. So kind of discuss with other people around you, twos or threes around you. I still have one more part I want to get over, so I'm only going to give you till 1:45 to reflect on these different dynamics. All right? So go ahead and just kind of spot the different questions on the back. You're free to take that home and dig deeper in yourself, but kind of have a discussion with each other about how you see yourself based on these dynamics.
Oh, this, you have great detail. I got something fun.
It's hard.
Hey, I'm not.
What's so funny? Oh,
Talking about your outfit today.
then why you laughing? Then why you laughing? What happened?
Yeah, what's the deal, family, man? So look, I'm here at school, man, just chilling. This is my communication class. Yeah, man, I'm happy to be back in school, man. It's been a long time since I've been in school. Look, I'm 38 years old. A lot of people think, oh, you too old to go back to school. No, you're never too old to go back to school. So those who voted yes on being too old, you need to slap yourself, because you're never too old to go back to school. I'm a living witness, and I do it every day. I'm 38, and look at me. I'm still in school. I'm still in class. I'm still doing my thing, getting my education, and I appreciate it. Nah, I don't. Now let me show you. This is the class right here. So this is my class right here.
I know
So yeah, back in school, back in class, man. So yeah, look, if y'all new to the channel, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Boy, I got content coming all day, every day. I really don't go live. Y'all notice I really don't go live like that. It's actually my first time in a long time going live. So y'all make sure y'all tap in because I'm in school. My school it's gonna be from this month all the way until December. So y'all make sure y'all lock in with me, bro. No, it's not insurance, bro. You gotta log in. You gotta sub up to the channel so you don't miss another live. That's what you gotta do. Sub up to the channel. Hit that like button. Look, if you in here and you didn't hit that like button, slap the shit out yourself. Hit that like button, man. We got 7 people in the chat. I know at least 5 of y'all didn't hit that like button, so all I ask y'all, hit that like button, like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? So you don't miss another live. Hey, thank you for hitting that. Thank you, whoever hit that like. Thank you. I appreciate it. And look, we got the super chat popping too, so if y'all feeling gifty, y'all want to give up something, you know, hey, hit that super chat. Send a gift. Hit the super chat. Do, you know, however you feel. None ya bitch. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe, man. But I'm just chilling though. I love it, man. It's good. I can't complain. I see what I'm eating on. Let me show y'all what I'm eating on. I got these grits right here. I be eating on these Ritz crackers. Yeah, I be eating on these Ritz crackers. That keeps me up. That keeps me up so I don't fall asleep in class. So this is the outfit of the day. Y'all can see. Boom, chilling. It's all good. It's all gravy, baby. But where y'all from? Where you from? Put wherever y'all from. Put y'all location in. Represent y'all state or your country. Shit, can't hear me. Damn. Oh no, you can't hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear. One's in the chat. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. One's in the chat. Let me know if y'all can hear me. One's in the chat if you can hear. Okay, Ryan. Okay. So y'all can hear. So y'all can hear. Okay. That's good. So look, if you're new to the chat, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss another live, man. I'm just chilling, bro. I got a lot of work to do, but I'm gonna relax. Yeah. I hit the like button, bro. Hey, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you. Hey, everybody follow suit. Everybody do what Ryan. Y'all see what Ryan Anthony just did? I need everybody to do what Ryan Anthony just did. Ryan Anthony just dropped a like and he subscribed to the channel. So look, I need everybody, like and subscribe to the channel. Stop playing. Stop bullshitting. Hit that like button, people. Hit that like button. Yeah, man, hit it. You voting for Trump for 2028? So yeah, man, y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss another live. We just chilling.
Alright? Power distance, small versus very large. Oh yeah. Does it surprise you that Russia is very large power distance? Masculinity versus femininity. Okay, so much
Feminine.
more of masculine, but then most of the Middle Eastern countries are much more of the masculine as well. Uncertainty avoidance, definitely they are not allowed change. Much of Europe, we're much more of the tolerate versus not.
Yeah.
And last
Yes.
two, long-term orientation, flexible, and these are different terms they would use, but, so this is much more of the long-term versus the short-term. Okay, not a whole lot, and then indulgence. Restraints is all over here, and this is much more indulgent down here.
Damn.
Check that.
Checks out, right?
Yes.
What's the white mean?
No data,
Mm.
no
Oh.
data,
Y'all said that two different ways.
No
Huh?
data.
no data.
No
Okay.
data. We need to get some data. Gotta go
So
to
talk
Africa.
with your friend, what were some of the takeaways from this? Yes.
I was saying that like my, I'm very like sure in my own beliefs, like that how I am, so I don't think that my culture and that like affects that much, but if there was to be one part of that that would be my family and their belief values, just because nature versus nurture, I think that affects my life personally a lot, and I think that my family values and my cultural values are very similar because like there's generations of my family from America, so I think that therefore the American values are what more happens, more generalized.
I can get
American
10
values
likes.
Okay. Good. What else did we discover?
I noticed that in my own timeline, like when I was younger, I definitely rejected my family values, like the values that I was brought up with,
Just rebellious?
so rebellious.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, like my son's older, I'm kind of relearning like values outside of like the culture that I was brought up in, just because there are some things that I don't agree with still, but I feel like I've definitely become more flexible into allowing certain values like align in my value system, even though there was that strain.
Okay. Good.
Mhm.
Anybody else? Yeah, let me go.
I thought it was kind of interesting that a lot of my values kind of aligned with my workplace more than with family and culture. So that was interesting.
That is interesting. But if you look at all the ones on the left side, that's traditional, they're gonna be individualistic, they will be, power distance is gonna be high, they're gonna have weak uncertainty avoidance, they're gonna have much more of the achieving sex roles, they're gonna have much more of the short term, and there'll be much more indulgence. So I put them if you have one of these, you're more likely gonna have all the rest of them on the left, same with on the right. But some of you are not all on one side and all on the other. Some of you, depending on what it was, and you were all over the place. This goes to the idea of our socialization development. This is the last concept we need to understand. So people conceive of yourself as separate or connected to your cultural dynamics. Catalina said something that was perfect, as well as Tyler has said, what if I'm not totally like my family anymore, right? You are raised in a certain cultural mindset. You are raised in a certain cultural dynamic that we discussed. We went over these 6. These are the predominant ones that influence the way that people communicate. These are the predominant ones that people are raised in. However, you as an individual, as a scholar, as a critical thinker, your experiences in the world can change the way you saw your cultural upbringing. You can have what we call a construal of self, or self-construal. This is Marcus and Kitayama. We're looking beyond just and said, look, I don't match up. Here I am, I'm Martian, and Martian is supposed to be this way, and I'm not like every other Martian. And they said construal, or construct of ourself. So an independent self-construal means that you identify with a variety of feelings, cognitions, motivations, and you're not necessarily seeing yourself as being one or the other, right? So you're distinct from others, and it's much more self-promotion, autonomy, uniqueness, what people would consider a little bit more on the individualistic side, a little bit more of the achieving side, a little bit more of accepting of power distance, etc. So independence of yourself. You can have someone who was raised in Russia with all that we saw. We saw Russia was very extremely, they were on the right side completely, correct? With the maps we showed. But you have people that are exposed to different things. They then have a different mindset of themselves. They then have an independent control. Interdependent self-control is much more about fitting in with relevant others and having this idea of in-group connectedness. That being with people that are like you, being with people that you connect with are very important, more than your own self-autonomy, which right here is self-autonomy. With this, you have people who strive to fit in, to be part of the group, people who focus on the relationship with others, and people who concerned with ways in which they can benefit their social groups. These then would be much more of the collectivistic, much more of the larger power distance, much more of the stronger uncertainty avoidance, right? However, this is truly someone who was raised in a certain area, what collectivistic, and it's all about the we, it's not about the me, but they feel, or excuse me, it's, flip that. They were raised in a society that is all about the I and not the we, but they feel the we is more important to them personally. That means it's interdependent, you're dependent on each other. So I always say, I was raised in a very independent culture here in the United States. You'd say most of our stuff is all on the left side of these dichotomies, right? That's the US, would we agree? All the way down, more on the left side is more the US. However, if you see yourself as wanting to be a part of the social group, working to focus on relationship with others, these become more important than these, you then would see yourself as interdependent with your self-control. So we have those that are more on the left side, that lean more right, they're considered independent left self-control. And we have those that are more on the left, leaning to the right, they're more interdependent in their self-control. So now turn to your partner and say, do you match up? Do you still see yourself as independent in a very individualistic, small power distance, masculine, short-term, and indulgent? Or do you see yourself as being more interdependent in this kind of culture? So this goes to, do you see yourself not match up with your primary cultural dimensions? This, of course, is a self-reflective discovery of who you are as a cultural being. But I also want my scholars to be confident and understand that when you're communicating with somebody who is different than you, this makes up them. So now you understand why they do what they do when they argue for the bill, when they have expectations of how things should work, right? So this makes up who you are, and it makes up everybody, individual person that you encounter. So my scholars are supposed to be more mindful, be ethno-relative, and understand that people do things differently based on how the culture in which they were raised has taught them to behave based on these cultural values. When we come in on Monday, you do have an exam. The whole class period will be for the exam. There is a study guide for the exam that is on Canvas. You will need a Scantron 882.
Scantron 882.
And if there's any short answer, I will bring paper for that. You need a pencil. show you Scantron that looks like. Any green one,
Ooh, I fall apart. One, two, one, four.
It looks like this.
Ooh, can I have that one?
No.
Oh.
882. 882, okay?
Here's my shawty out
Sorry, I don't provide those. What
All
we'll
the
talk
Julia
about are
bar.
what makes our culture. We'll look and understand the iceberg method.
We about to get up
We'll
outta
understand
here.
what the three
Check out
main
some of
reasons
the
why we need to study intercultural communication. We'll look at some definitions and understand aspects of culture, and we will end with cultural value dynamics, which is what we talked about today. So 3 different sections, 3 different chapters. All the reading material is on Canvas as well. All right?
Peace
All right,
out.
y'all. Have a good weekend. Write on your paper.